Welcome back to my channel, guys. First and foremost, please stop what you're doing, go hit that subscribe and like button. I know you guys like what you see, but you gotta hit subscribe. So today we are making some chicken pot pie. Let me tell y'all, this stuff is so good. Let's get to it. I've got about 2 pounds of chicken breast cut up that I'm just going to pan fry. I want it to get a nice dark brown color, so we're just gonna leave it and let it sit there. I think I had about 2 tablespoons of oil in the pot before I put the chicken in there. Now the chicken was seasoned with like some seasoning salt, so like some adobo, some garlic and onion powder, and I'm adding there a garlic and herb mix and also some slap your mama, which is some salt, red pepper flakes, and some black pepper. Once the chicken cooks and it gets to a color and a doneness that I like, I'm going to add in a bag of peas and carrots. We're just going to let this saute and cook together. So once everything is fully cooked through, we're going to remove it off the stove, set it to the side, and here in our frying pan, I've washed and cleaned it off. We're going to start making our roux. So I've got about 5 to 6 tablespoons of butter melting in the pot. Now you don't want the heat too high because you don't want the butter to burn. You just want it to melt. To that, I'm adding 1 chopped up onion. We're going to let this saute and cook until the onions become translucent. Okay, so once your onions start looking like this, you are good to go. I'm adding 1/3 of a cup of flour. And the reason I'm adding 1/3 of a cup is because our fats have to equal our flour. So because we added 5 tablespoons, we had 5 tablespoons of butter, we need about 5 tablespoons of flour, and that's about 1/3 of a cup. Nonetheless, empty that into your pot, and you kind of just want to stir everything around. Make sure that the flour does not clump, but it gets incorporated in with the butter. And then we want the flour to start to cook, because this is what makes the sauce in the chicken pot pie like a nice thick creamy consistency. The flour is going to thicken everything up. So we're going to let the flour cook for 2 to 5 minutes, and it's not going to get too dark in color. And then we want to add about 1 cup of heavy cream and some chicken stock. I didn't have chicken stock, so I added 2 cups of water along with 2 teaspoons of some chicken bouillon. I'm just whisking it to make sure that everything is fully incorporated and it comes together correctly and nicely. Now we're going to allow it to sit and cook. Once it starts to cook and starts to bubble like this here, then you know that it's starting to thicken up. The flour is working with the liquids, and it's going to start thickening up and become a nice thick roux. It's going to be much thicker than what it is now. Once it starts to cook, we're going to start adding our seasonings, and don't mind it if it's going too fast. I'm going to have everything listed in the description box down below. But I added some Badia all-purpose seasoning, some black pepper, some salt, and you may want to add a little bit more chicken bouillon. You want it to be nice and flavorful. Feel free to explore and just do your own thing, because it's supposed to be a comfort food. So you want to make sure that it tastes good to you. For me and mine, I added some cumin, and I added about half a teaspoon to a teaspoon of cumin, and the kids really loved it. So once it's done, we're going to take it off the stove. So it's time for us to start assembling our pie. I'm using store-bought pie crust. So this box had 2 in there. We're just going to take it out of the sleeves. I'm assembling mine in about an 8x8 casserole dish. If you have an actual circle pie dish, feel free to use that also. Just unroll the bottom part, and then you want to kind of like smush it into your casserole dish or your pie dish and allow it to come up the sides. So because mine is a square, I'm just going to kind of like smush it down and try to pull it up the sides as much as I can get it without tearing it. Try to do this part without tearing it. You don't want any holes in the bottom of your pie. So once we get this into there, then we're going to start assembling. And the first thing that's going to go in is our chicken and carrots and peas mixture, and then we're going to pour the gravy on top of that. So once we've got everything in, now it's time for us to close up our pie. So I'm unrolling the second pie crust. Make sure that it fits properly, like, you know, it's going to cover the top of everything. And then I'm just going to take a knife and make some slits at the top of the pie crust. This just helps for the extra steam on the inside to get out. You can make it fancier if you want. I just wanted some plain simple crust, and I thought that was good enough. So what we're doing here is crimping the sides of the top and the bottom together. That's why we wanted to pull the bottom piece up, so that way they can connect. And we're just going to crimp it like we would like an apple pie or something like that. Now that we're done with our crimping, I'm just going to brush some milk onto the cover, onto the top. And this is what it looks like before it goes into the oven. And this is how it looks when it comes out. Oh my god. Guys, this was so good. The kids loved it. I loved it. And we ate this with like a side salad. Yeah. So let me know how you guys like it. Please don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the notification bell. That lets you know every time that I upload a new video. Okay, see you next time.